So our toilet's probably about 15 years old, and it's not quite sealing anymore at the valve in the bowl. And this could be one of those clean and Vaseline situations, but it seems like it's probably old enough that the seals are gone, and maybe this is just an opportunity to replace it with a new toilet. So here we go. Shanna has cleaned this multiple times, cleaned and re-lubricated the valve, and it just doesn't seem to seal, and nobody wants an unsealed tank during transit, so we're just gonna swap it out. For this, I've got my tools laid out, everything I think I need. I've actually already used the screwdriver to take off this little trim piece over here. The half-inch wrench for the 2 bolts that hold, or nuts that hold the toilet down. This is the hardware that came with it. And I've got my pipe cutter because I'm gonna have to change the configuration of the PEX lines on the back of the toilet. I've got a valve that I may use, or I've got a plain straight, depending on how the geometry is when I'm done. My hope is that the connection on the back of this toilet is threaded exactly the same as the new toilet, and I just have to shorten the run of plumbing to get to the connection. This isn't the first one of these RV toilets I've swapped out, so in previous Airstreams, what I've learned is I want to have a shopping bag to cover the hole to the tank. I want to have a trash bag handy, and at a certain point I'm going to put some gloves on when things start to get exposed. And the main goal here is to not cross-contaminate the clean water pipe running to the toilet with anything that might come from the bottom of the toilet area. This Thetford toilet that we're taking out has the main supply line running straight up into the back. There's a valve in it, which I like, but what's going to happen is that the one we're putting in is going to have a straight in connection, which is going to run in about here. So what I need to do is figure out if I can get this plumbing to make sense and save the valve, because I like the idea of being able to valve it off here. You can see that the corner of the toilet tank is right down there. This is the vent line coming off of it, and then the water supply line.
I kind of feel like I'm winning because I really can't fit in there with you to help.
This is the clean water job. This is nobody's. This is just disconnecting the clean water.
Who's winning? I am.
All right. Now it's time for loosening nuts. So again, that's a 1/2-inch nut. I'm gonna use a ratcheting wrench. I really like these. And I assume, I checked the ones that are gonna go in, they're 1/2 inch. I assume that's pretty standard, so you might find that anyone you were to do would be the same. There's one of these on either side of the toilet, a little bit out of sight. You kind of have to lean in to see them. The worst thing that can happen to you is if the whole thing comes loose and starts to spin. It sits in a slot below the toilet, and sometimes they can come loose in that slot. This one, thankfully, is spinning. The reason for the shape of these bolts is that on the top of the tank, there's a slot, and the bolt is supposed to go into the slot so that when you tighten it, it won't pull up. So it's important to pay attention to that. And if that is damaged on the top of your toilet tank, it's possible that they've pulled against and damaged the slot. You want to have that piece replaced because it means the toilet can come loose while you're traveling. Could you please go turn off all the fans to make sure we're not sucking in any air that might come up through the tank?
Sure.
Fortunately, this is pretty lightweight. Successfully into the bag. All right. I've just put a bag over the hole to sort of block the sewer gas. I'm gonna clean as aggressively as I can all around this, and then I'm going to think about replacing the seal. For right now, I'm going to take the toilet outside. Can you pass me Clorox wipes one at a time so I don't contaminate the package? Thank you.
Please like, subscribe, click that notification bell for more Airstream Wheeler content.
We only have one toilet to change out, so hopefully not again this year.
All glamour all the time.
Dreamboat doesn't even have a toilet, so that'll be easier to install because nothing will be used.
Well,
Another wipe, please.
sure. So glad there's not enough room for us both in there.
Oh yeah, I could squeeze over if you want.
Oh no, you know, I'm here for you from outside the door. What's up?
I'm not entirely sure why the new toilet comes with these shorter bolts, but I'm a little bit worried that if I use them, I will mount the toilet, then I will have to unmount the toilet and use the longer bolts. I'm going to make the assumption that the long ones that were already here, since they're fine, there's no like rust or anything, that they'll be good to use, and I'm not going to use the ones that came with the new toilet.
Bold move, Mr. Wheeler. Bold move.
All right.
But you know, I'm not the one who is dealing with it, so it's up to you. Gross, dude.
New one in place. All right, so I have come to the point where I think I'm done with all the waste contaminated side of this. I'm gonna unglove and I'm gonna grab the toilet and set it down on the bolts at this time. I've figured out the reason for the shorter bolt. Once this toilet tightens down to take up that 1/4 inch gap, this will touch up on the mechanism for flushing, and that would be bad. Slide them in, turn them. Okay, and we're going back down. As I suspected, these are almost too short, as you can see beside there, but that has to be the size because of the clearance up above.
The flush pedal?
Yep. So here we go. A little bit on this side, a little bit on the other side. Definitely want to take a few turns on one side and then on the other. Give it a shake, make sure it's still in the right place. Most of the front to the back wiggle is gone. Okay. Now it's time to climb over and look behind and see what we need to configure with the plumbing.
I'm not sure I can get that in the film.
Maybe not.
Alright, let's remove everything black water related.
Okay, that made a watery mess. Trying to mark between where the fittings go into this, and it's not easy. Oops, water. Do you mind getting me the LED flashlight that hangs by the door? Sure, it's better than I thought. Okay. Could you grab me the ruler from the office? My ability to control this in fine scales. Struggling. What I've tried to do is salvage both of these by measuring carefully, because I need just over 1/2 inch to be able to slide that fully into the shark bite fitting. So I've carefully measured because I only had like 1 1/8 total. What I'm trying to do here is connect this to the back of the toilet, make the 90 degrees turn that I need quickly, put the valve back over here, and then have it run into the existing plumbing. So I'm going to cut here to make this piece. That's more than the 1/2 inch I need, so that should be good. And we'll just need to measure to see what we need to cut over there. Okay, I have the water line coming in here to the valve. So what I'm going to do is leave the valve off, and I'm going to have Shanna turn the pump on to pressurize up to the valve. We'll see if we have any leaks in the first part of it. Yep, please go ahead with that.
3, 2, 1.
So far, so good. All right, I'm going to turn on the valve to the toilet.
Do you want me to turn off the pump or keep it on?
Keep it on.
Okay.
Two-hand attack. Okay. Watching for signs of dripping. The toilet lid gives birth to some tank chemicals we don't use. Wanted to double check all
That's
that.
where the instructions were hiding.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you wouldn't.
Good thing we
use
found them. Why don't you go ahead, read through, make sure we did everything right.
it. I was looking for them. You were definitely not looking for them.
Okay. So this comes down, that comes down, and I am ready to try the water.
Yeah, man.
New pedal location, that'll throw you off. Alright, I'm checking for leaks again.
Okay.
The last problem to fix is that this aluminum piece that I believe is original, that covers the vent pipe coming off the tank and the plumbing incoming, you can see where the new height line, the guard sits upon it, so I need to cut it back a little bit. I think I only need to take about 3/4 of an inch, but I'm going to take a full inch just to make sure I don't have to do this twice. A little bit of wiggling here and we'll get it into place. There it is. Plumbing clears there, and the flush pedal's very close, so it is not actually touching there. I'm going to keep this wrench handy for the next couple days just to possibly take another turn on these flange bolts. I definitely don't want to over tighten, but once we move the trailer around, if it shakes a little bit, maybe I can get another couple turns to keep it tight. The other thing to check is the plumbing connections that we've made back there. It'd be real easy to ignore them, but I'm going to check back in a day or two just to make sure nothing's leaking.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. It really helps our channel.